With me tonight, I have Kevin, my business partner in crime. And we have a pretty tasty program in store for you guys tonight. We started off about 6 years ago in a little kitchen here in San Francisco, developed in collaboration between two companies, The Culinary Edge, which is a culinary development firm, and Moby Munch, which is an LA-based company most well known for supplying mobile food platforms. We currently have 3 mobile food trucks that roam around the city and the greater Bay Area, and we do have a new restaurant right up the street on Larkin in the colorful Tenderloin neighborhood here. Everybody loves the design on our truck, and that panda was actually designed by James Jean, a very well-known artist. And he does have a small collection here at the museum. But as much as the panda has been an iconic mascot for our brand, we have to credit a lot of our success to marketing through social media and the emergence of Off the Grid.
They kind of launched the food truck movement here in the Bay Area, and they've grown to I think over 50 events now throughout the Bay. On the trucks, we offer our own take on traditional baos. At the restaurant, we offer everything on the truck, but we have expanded menu, including rice bowls, salads, and a lot of other new items developed specifically for the restaurant.
Our menu here is really a piece, like pieces of our childhood put together. We're always thinking of nostalgia. We're always thinking about like what we loved eating at other restaurants and what we loved eating as a kid. So today we got a treat. We're gonna go through making our pork belly bun today. So our buns have 4 components to them. It's the bread, it's the sauce, it's the salad, and it's the meat. The bread comes from my family's bakery here in the city. Our bakery is about 40 years old. For me, essentially I was born inside that bakery, I guess. A little bun in the oven, I guess you could say. The buns are pretty simple. They're a mixture of sugar, flour, yeast, water, and that's pretty much it. After you mix the components together, you let the dough rise for about 3 times. And we're gonna roll it out into about, say, a 1/4 inch. We're just gonna use a cookie cutter. Just a round cookie cutter. And you have your round shape dough. After that, we use a little bit of canola oil. Canola oil works fine. And we're just gonna smoosh some of that on the top. And essentially you could fold it over. It's a half circle. And you put it aside and let it rise one more time until it's double its size. At that point, you can put it in a steamer. Steam it for about 5 to 7 minutes. And I'm gonna move on here to the sauce portion. There's only 5 ingredients here. We have some sugar, some aka miso, which is red miso. I'm gonna use a little mirin. And since we're using miso, the process here is that we are not going to put the miso in with the heating liquid, because if it gets too hot, you change the flavor. And you also kill most of the enzymes that are really beneficial. So if you're making miso soup, make your broth first and then stir in your miso. So I'm gonna give this a little bit of time here. Take out my giant whisk, because size matters. And what I'm looking for here is just for the sugar granules to really dissolve. A touch here, which we actually add a little bit of sriracha, because sriracha is good in everything. So essentially we're just gonna take this liquid, pour it into the miso, and then stir it up. It's gonna be nice and sweet, a little bit and a little salty. After that, you can just let it cool. You can give it an ice bath if you want it to cool quickly, or just put it in the fridge and you can use that. So after that, we can move on to our pickles. So I'm gonna show you the first part, which is our shallots. Starts off with a little bit of orange juice. A little rice wine vinegar for that acid. I'm gonna go even amount with white wine vinegar. So to round off some of that acid, we're gonna add sugar. And we have some salt. So with that, To add on to the orange flavoring, we use the zest or the peel. And then we're going to add some arbol chilies, some star anise, some bay leaves, and some really fruity pink peppercorn. Lastly, I have a little bit of clove here, and we're going to bring that up to a boil. So while this is going up, we'll use some shallots. So when it comes to thickness, that's all up to you guys. If you guys are going to try and recreate this at home, you guys can go as thick as you guys want. After you cut the shallots, pour your pickling liquid over it, let it cool by itself, and just put it in the fridge, and then wait till the next day. Now we're going to go on to the daikon. And we're going to start off again with rice wine vinegar. Rice wine vinegar this time around should probably be equal to your sugar. And the mirin, we're going to use a quarter of what we used for the vinegar. Follow that with some salt. So turmeric, it's going to give that nice bright yellow color. Whole garlic cloves. Again, we're going to go with the arbol chilies. And then we use a lot of green onions. We use a lot of the green portion in our cooking. So we decided that we're going to throw the white portion in here so that we use them all. So we're going to bring that up to a boil. While that's going, I'm going to cut some daikon. I'm going to shave this down. Again, watch the fingers. Okay, so this is our liquid here. And as it comes to a boil, that's when we're going to coat the daikon. Because the daikon by himself, they're like really crunchy. And we wanted to change the texture a little bit. So we'll put our daikon into a pan. And then we're going to pour the pickling liquid on top. Typically, we want to use a strainer just so that all the aromatics and everything are strained out. It's going to take an overnight process in order for the acid to really break down the vegetable. Now, to make this salad, we combine the two. And for our salad dressing, we use two parts oil to 1 part vinegar. So we do canola oil and rice wine vinegar. Now for the herb, we use an herb called shiso. It's like a Japanese mint. And then you just cut them really thin. And they come out like ribbons. So we're gonna throw that in there and we're gonna mix this around. So we have one final component left, and that of course is the star of the dish. It is the pork belly. And at the kitchen we use heavy cast iron skillets. They provide a really nice sear to the pork belly. So we're going to start off with a little Shaoxing cooking wine. And then we're going to mix that with some soy sauce and some water to dilute it down. And we're going to go on to our favorite ingredient, sugar. Because I mean, what's a dish without sugar, right? Now I have a little bit of 5-spice salt that I add in here. This 5-spice salt we make in-house. We'll use a little bit of ginger. So this is what we use the top of our green onions for. A couple of bay leaves, some whole cinnamon, Chinese brown cardamom. So after that, we're gonna add a little star anise, arbol chilies, some dried orange peels, coriander seeds, Szechuan peppercorns. Gonna add some fennel seeds, some ginger powder, and some white pepper. So that is our braising liquid. It's a lot of ingredients, right? That's why our belly is so tasty. So what we're gonna do, we wanna sear the belly. So you wanna give it a nice caramelization on one side, flip it over, give it another caramelization on the other side. When you get it into the braising pan, you wanna make sure that the liquid actually covers or gets pretty close to covering the entire pork belly. So if there's not enough, just add water. In the oven, this is gonna evaporate anyways, and all that flavor is really gonna concentrate in that liquid. So after you get that in, you want to cover it up with foil. We do 350 for 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. Now when it comes out, do one more step, and we have to cool it overnight. Because if you try to cut hot pork belly, that fat is just it's gonna go everywhere. And you're not gonna get really nice cuts. So when we get it, it's a block like this. And we'll cut it into about two inch slabs. And then we get a hot pan, and then you wanna sear these pieces. Yeah, listen to that sizzle. They are cut pretty thin, so they reheat pretty much within, I would say, a minute to a minute and a half. So after you flip it, we take our 5-spice salt that we make in-house, and we give a little bit of top salt. When the belly's done, we do 2 slices. A little bit of sauce. And we top it off with that delicious daikon. There you are. That is our chairman pork belly bun. Thank you.